Welcome to this presentation on participatory action research. My name is Steve Haddon, and I shall be your presenter today. A report authored by Patricia Elliott in 2013 provides a couple of excellent statements to introduce action research and participatory action research. Simply put, action research is situated, reflexive, and change-oriented. PAR, participatory action research, one of the more well-known forms of action research, has a known capacity to build levels of trust and engagement that reveal local knowledge that might otherwise be hidden. PAR is an extension of action research and includes the main tenets of action research. To start, we will look at some historical context. Kurt Lewin is attributed with coining the phrase action research in the 30s. Lewin was considered that having group discussions might lead to potential solutions to social ills at the time. He developed a process with 4 steps: planning, acting, observing, and reflection. His process of inclusivity of others in the process set the stage for components of the modern framework. Maria Lisa Swans was a researcher based in Tanzania and was a longtime proponent of the proper application of PAR. Her main idea was that the participatory nature of PAR should ensure that the research promotes developing models from within the system, within the community, not applying outside understanding to community thinking and knowing. There is quite a long history to action research. Greenwood, as cited in Elliott, makes the case that Aristotle's third division of knowledge, phronesis, is a different connection to action research and provides an early philosophical basis for action-oriented community collaborations. However, throughout Western history, systematic thought has driven the processes of research. The combination of research with community connection or problem solving has remained mostly separate. There are some exceptions, with Bacon and Galileo, who looked to their community needs for their understanding of the study of science. It isn't until the 19th and 20th centuries and the rise of Marxism, existentialism, and pragmatism that schools of thought returned to the idea of tying together problem solving and intellectual research. In education, this way of thinking is connected to the work of John Dewey. Finally, in the 1970s, the concepts of action research caught on. Paulo Freire in Brazil, Orlando Falsborda in Colombia, and Swans in Tanzania all have a role in the 70s development of participatory action research and its connection with the social sciences and political activism. Around the 70s, educational institutions within Western nations started to incorporate aspects of action research. From the 70s and 80s until current day, action research has developed into a valid and valuable tool both within educational settings and across the social sciences. Action research is mixed method research. Both quantitative and qualitative data can be collected using action research. This makes it very versatile and useful across a wide range of research problems. There can be considered 2 types of results for action research. One type is to seek solutions for a practical issue. What are you seeing in your classroom? What challenge are you having that you need to do something about? You can carry out action research on something you need a solution for. Another potential end result could be developing a solution that will free individuals or groups from situations that can constrain them individually or corporately. Some further key tenets. Action research has a practical focus. Actual problems are developed within specific educational settings, in the case of educational action research. The action plans that are developed should have immediate benefits. Action research is collaborative. The researcher is also a participant, and co-participants are involved in all aspects of research. They can help with findings, they can collect data, and they can assist in presentations. Since it is collaborative, communication should be sincere and transparent, and that it's respectful of all voices so that all can contribute. It is a dynamic process. Ernest Stringer proposed a spiral model for action research, where the research moves through the 3 repeating components: look, where data is collected, analyzed, and reported to stakeholders. Action involves devising solutions, carrying out an action plan, and sharing results with others. The action will create ideas and thoughts, which brings us to think. Think is where issues are interpreted and priorities can be identified. It may be that previous implementations have to be revised and tried again, or maybe there is a positive end result that can be shared with stakeholders. The process is iterative in that you may go through the process many times. Action research involves a course of action. The spiral nature of the process means that the action plan may be developed at any point in the process. Could be after data collection and analysis, it may occur after discussions with stakeholders, or it may be after something that's already been tried. But action needs to be taken, and it needs to be shared. Sharing of research may be informal, and that process may occur with the participants, with other staff, or community members that benefit from the research. Sometimes action research results are formally written and published. To the central features of PAR. Number one, it's a social process. There is an exploration of relationship and interaction. For education, this could relate to working in teams or in co-teaching relationships. Number two, the researcher participates. They evaluate their own practice and examine ways to improve. An example could be, how does using vertical non-permanent surfaces affect understanding in my mathematics classroom? Number three, it's practical. There should be an improvement upon practice, and it should occur with some other people. For example, a study of cross-grade reading groups to target reading interventions within grades 4 to 6. Number four, it's emancipatory. It gets rid of structures that hinder and limit. The reading group example could allow students to have more time with other students with similar skills and allow the teachers to focus on a tighter range of skills, not beholden to grade-specific structures. Number five, it's critical. There's a recovery and a release from constraints of communication. The processes of PAR are self-determined, and they give agency for individuals to seek out their own professional development apart from predetermined or expected professional development. And finally, number six, it's reflexive. There's the spiral process of look, think, and act. You try one thing, evaluate, and try something else. This means it's experimental. It means that theoretical ideas may or may not work given a specific context. PAR gives participants the opportunity to try and to try again. There are a number of strengths of action research. Action research being a democratic process where all involved feel empowered and can remain learners within the process. It encourages reflection and testing of new ideas. It narrows the gap between a vision of education and practice. It's local and it focuses on community or local problems. Particularly in the social sphere, it gives voices to underrepresented communities, which is very applicable to education. It is a flexible methodology, and communities specifically can develop their own research and action plans. By doing so, communities can buy into the research, and because they have influence upon it. Because participants are from the community, they can bring the community view, which can help with data analysis. Weaknesses of action research pertain partially to the idea of rigor, that it's a less than scientific method, or that the results are not formalized and therefore not reviewed by peers, though they are reviewed by the other participants, and that it's less systematic than other approaches. Elliott points out that researchers can create a power imbalance within the process. This is due to the fact that they bring their own information and knowledge and understanding to it. As with most research, there is the potential for ethical issues. To start, this process is very collaborative, and since the idea is that the researcher is a participant, They often recruit students, community members, and staff members close to them. Therefore, it's important that data collection is not persuasive, but remains objective. A further ethical consideration relates to aspects of collaboration in the community focus. It is important that the research is undertaken with respect for the community partners and that the results are sustainable for the community, and the research can be carried out to provide a participatory, respectful, and democratic process. Finally, as has been mentioned previously, action research can be viewed as less rigorous than other forms of research. It's therefore imperative that the results of the process are still carried out with respect and concern for the participants, that data is collected ethically, and that research materials remain organized and transparent. PAR has an inherent expectation that all applications are practical applications. PAR is based upon change of practice within a specific community or learning environment, with the researcher seeking out ways to solve their own problems or concerns. The social and community focus of PAR should ensure that the action plan has some use for those involved. Creswell provides a number of great examples that show the versatility of action research, often within educational environments. Elliott provides a thought-provoking, historically relevant example involving John Collier, who was the U.S. Commissioner of Indian Affairs in the 1930s and would have been an early adopter of action research around Lewin's time. Collier started community education projects within First Nation communities. This was based on the belief that a wealth of Indigenous culture and knowledge was under threat from residential schools. Let us conclude the presentation with the steps in conducting an action research study. Is action research the best option? Do you have the time and the collaborators to undertake the problem? Do you have a problem that can be identified that's specific to your context and your environment? Do you have resources? Have you performed a literature review? Do you have any collegial advice on how to undergo action research? Have community members been approached or approached you about research areas? Have you identified the information you need? Do you have rapport and collaboration with stakeholders and participants? Have you decided what type of data, qualitative or quantitative, that you would like to collect? You then implement data collection. Be respectful of people's time. Keep yourself organized and maintain quality control of the research, the responses, and where your information is. Analyze the data. Enlist others if you do not have the skills necessary to perform the statistical analysis. Develop a plan of action. Create something to share and implement, and then present this plan to the stakeholders. Implement your plan and reflect. Try out the plan. See how it makes a difference. Then reflect on your learning and the effectiveness of both the process and the action plan. Thank you for listening. This has been Participatory Action Research presented by Stephen Haddon.